Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel, Bird's Eye Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here, then welcome. Hopefully you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do, and if you're returning, then still welcome. Clearly you are here because you have a love of cross stitch, just like I do. Today is Saturday, December 27th, the last Flosstube of the year for me, so this will be it for 2025, starting up 2026, literally next week. I know a lot of people are, they love Christmas, they love Halloween, the normal holidays. I am fully Team New Year's. So Christmas is now over and it was fantastic. Had a great time. Saw family, friends, I traveled, I went on a cruise before Christmas. All the amazing things. Very, very grateful. But now Christmas is over, which means I get to officially, I really dive into planning. I just love New Year's, new start. So if you have not watched it, I did a whip parade. So that was my very first full whip parade. I pulled out all 51 of my projects. I was missing a couple, which are here next to me. So I have 53 projects to start the new year. I'm okay with that. Lots of plans for over this next year. Cannot wait to get started. So today I have the pieces I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. I am going to show you the plans for January. January is a big month. Obviously, I love New Year's, clearly. So lots of things planned for that. Then the reason why I am filming again in my room and not in front of the bird wall in the living room is because I again needed space. I filmed my whip parade here because I needed all this room on the bed. Now I don't have as many projects, but you can see there's a big thing back here. So I do need to show that. That was one of my Christmas gifts. It is amazing, but I need some advice and yeah, so we'll just get to it. Okay, so first of all, breaking out planner for the new year. Very exciting, my official 2026-2027 planner. This is the one recommended by Carolyn. Hi Carolyn with Seasook Stitch from My Crazy Life. Lori, she's super nice. This is fantastic for just all my basic needs. I am also using a planner from the Whip Warrior group, which I actually won in a giveaway. And so I'm using that to track my challenges a little bit more in depth, but this is all the basics, right? Everything I need for my day-to-day stuff is right here. So as I show you the things for these plans, just for sake of time with what I've been working on, I will highlight it as I go, and then we'll see anything that I left off, we'll go over separate. So, all right. First up, I had this is my travel bag for whenever I'm traveling, obviously. It currently has 2 pieces in there because I went on my first ever cruise. It was a 3-day cruise, so not terribly long. I probably should have done a 5-day. I called it my starter cruise because I wasn't sure what to expect, so I just did 3 days. By the time I've had any clue of what the heck I was supposed to be doing, it was like day 3 and time to get off the ship. So we will do it again, but it was a great time, and I did get some stitching in. So for my travel pieces, of course, I brought He's Your Making a List. I've Eaten It Twice, which is on the naughty list by Silver Creek Samplers. Looks kind of like this. Well, it should look very close to that because it was a kit, so it's called for everything. And got to we are here. So I got quite a bit of progress done on the rest of the boots, a little bit of the paper and stuff done. There's a little dog right here. We're working on that next. And then I got some of the words taken care of. So these words actually took me a long time. I did the words and this paper piece on the flight. We flew from Arizona to Florida. So it was like a solid 4 hours well, I think the flight was closer to 5, but you know, stitching, I'd say I probably did 3.5, maybe 4 hours, which is a pretty good amount of time. I thought that I would finish all those dang words. I did not. So, but I did get some good progress on that piece, so it was fun. Next up was a new start. I wanted to do a new start on the cruise just to say that I started something because it was a big event. Obviously, I don't get to go on cruises all the time, so something that we saved up for, and so I wanted to start something new just to celebrate that. So I started the Artsy Housewives Winter Blessings, or just called Blessings. This was also, I have the full called for colors and the called for fabric. I got it all in a kit. And I am, see how this shows up. I'll be in the living room with regular lights next week, but we are here. So I don't know why I chose the hard route. So I started in the center, and then what I was stitching on is here, this like mauvey pink color. So I started in the center, but instead of starting with stitching the words like a sane human would go, I decided to stitch the block around the words. So the counting is much harder, right? Because you're trying to count around the empty space. Instead of, I could have just stitched the dang words and then stitched the block around the words. I don't know why I choose these things, but that's what I chose to do. And that's how far I got. Let me see, this is on, what is this fabric? This is a 40 count lamb's wool linen. So I've never stitched on lamb's wool. It's kind of stiff, but it was helpful. The holes were small. I didn't quite realize that the piece I chose had a 40 count linen. To be honest, I did not check that. But so the holes are small, it's 40 count, but I did 1/2, and the stiffness of the lamb's wool made it a little bit easier to handle stitching on a boat. So that's where I am. So this piece here is on my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic for 2 letters. So for the Magazine Monthly Challenge on the Facebook group, we do a monthly acrostic. So our theme next month is monochrome, and our acrostic is sampler. So this is for the S and the A. S because there's an S in the word here, and I plan to stitch that letter. And then A because it is by Artsy Housewives. So you will see that again over this next month. I have one small travel planned for January. It's not a cruise or anything like that, but I do have a little bit of travel I need to do in January. So I will be stitching that outside of that travel time, but you might see it even more than that if I take it back out for the travel. To be honest though, I'll probably use this one just because it's a little bit easier when I'm in the car than that 40 count piece. So that was that. Okay. So next up, if you had seen my whip parade, too many things with the words whip. If you had watched my whip parade video, this might be a repeat, because even though it's my 25/7 piece, I will be honest, I have not been working on this piece very much. My poor 25/7 has been horribly neglected this month, but that's okay. That is okay. So for 25/7 this month, I chose to work on Scatter Kindness by Hinzite. Looks like this. This has some progress since last time my normal videos showed, but this is the same as it was, I think, in my whip parade. So we are here. So I have, you can't quite tell, but there's extra colors. So some double layering in the word scatter, as well as the K in kindness. So those are done. And then I just got started on the dirt and the dandelion and the fluff going on here. So that's where we are there. This one will not take me very long if I just sit down and work on it for a few hours at a time. I've just had other pieces calling to me over this past month, so this one has not gotten nearly as much love as it should. Plus, I don't know about you guys, but in December, like come December, I feel like everything is going to start after the new year. example, after the new year, I'm going to be more dedicated to my 25/7, as in I'm gonna do it in the morning before I go to work. So now in December, I'm kind of like, I think everyone does that. I'm okay with it. All right, next up, this piece. This is a piece that I am stitching for a family member, so it will eventually be a gift. The goal is to have it completely done and framed by next Christmas, which I know seems like a long time from now, but knowing me, it's gonna take me that long. So this is, let's take it out here. This is From Velvet to Linen by Kathy Barrick. Looks like this. So I am stitching mine. It calls for NPI. I probably should have purchased the NPI because I pulled the DMC conversion, which is what I'm stitching mine in. And so far, many of the conversion colors are not quite mapping to what this is. So as I go, I'm discovering I might have to make some color swaps along the way, but that's okay. So here is where we are. Make sure I show this the right direction. This way. Okay, we're here. So example, I showed this last time, but this inner yellow here should be a lot lighter. I am going to frog that before I put this away for the month, so that will be coming out. But I did get the center of all of these blue flowers done. So it used to be just this outline, so I took care of all of this. And then I started working on the outline of the red flower, or the pink flower that's right next to those blue ones. That is this guy here. So as you can see, this flower is much lighter, so I need to make a correction on that. The center of these is also a different color, but it still looks okay, so I'm gonna leave those. And then I need to look at the light pink in this flower just to make sure that the DMC matches up to what the picture looks like. We are here. You may or may not be able to hear my dog in the background. We have all the doors open up in the living room. And so as other people are walking their dog, she likes to go and say hello. Okay, well, I got pretty far on this next one. All right, so this next piece is one that I started stitching with Jeremiah's mom, Katie. Hi, Katie. This is Woodland Stitchy Friends, the Hedgehog by the Primitive Hare. Looks like this. And this one, their progress. So last time that you saw this, it had most of this black part of the brim, and then it had this top part here done of the border carried down into some of this area here. So I finished the entire hat and then finished the rest of this bottom border and started coming up here. So this one is going away just until the next month because this one is slotted for, let's see, this is on my Baringo board. So I'll talk more about Bringo here in a little bit, but this is on my Bringo board. This is actually the first year where I have double dipped my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic with my Bringo board, simply because with all of I got a lot of plans. So with all of these plans, in order to set myself up for some form of success here, I realized I had to double dip. So yes, this is on my acrostic as well as my Bringo board. So you will see that quite a bit over this next month. I would say it might get finished, but there's a lot of stitching in the porcupine that's still left. So probably not a finish next month, but there probably will be a finish in 2026 on that piece. It actually moves pretty quick. All right, the last one that I have gotten some progress on since you all saw me last was, let's see if I can pull the piece. This is Jack Frost's Tree Farm by Little House Needleworks, part 2. I am working on the Douglas fir pattern. Looks like this. And we are Ta-da! Okay, so this car, I almost got it complete. I just have a little bit in the rims of the tires, and I think that's it. So I have the rims of the tires, oh, and then there's a little piece that goes on the top of this tree. So after that, this car will be completed, so I will get that one done. It's actually, I just pulled it off my Q-snap. I was working on it earlier today. And then, honestly, this block is getting close to a finish. I've got some little red dots to put in here and there. The rest of the little black squares here in the corners, and then on the handle here for the car. And then I have some snow to add down here. And I think I've got maybe a snowflake in here, but that will finish up this block. So this block will be done, but I still have all of the rest of them because I am doing all of these pieces on one piece of fabric. So you will see this come out quite a bit over the next year because it is on my Bringo, I think. No, I lied. It's on my WhipGo. It is not on my Bringo. But it is on my WhipGo, and it was called for this next month. So you will see this quite a bit in the near future. Okay, before we segue into this back pile, because that pile has to do with plans, let's talk a little bit about plans. So, love this planner. Over the month of January, so we talked about Magazine Monthly Challenge, which is the Facebook group that I run with Carolyn from Seas Like Stitch. We do every month a acrostic and a theme. You can choose anything you want to fit the acrostic and the theme. So we are very flexible. The whole idea is to have fun. We started the group because we had stacks of magazines piling up, cross-stitch magazines that is, that we never stitched out of. So it started out as a let's work on your magazine pieces. However, it is morphed into stitch anything you want that fits the prompts. Really, it's just a good community of people, and we just want to get everyone working on all of their projects as often as we can. So for me personally, I like to choose a magazine piece for the theme, and I usually do 4 hours. So for my theme over this next month, it's monochrome. So I am going to be stitching Quaker Posies, which for me is going to be in the color red, which I will show you. Maybe. It's in here. Okay. So, Quaker Posies is from Just Cross Stitch Magazine. This is the issue that came out in April of 2025. Cover looks like this. And one day I'm going to bookmark my magazines. That day is not today. The one in the magazine looks like this. Okay. It is beautiful. I love the spring look they have in the magazine. It's very pretty. However, I had a piece of floss and fabric. The combo was just calling to me. So mine is stitched on a 34 count legacy linen in the color Coconut Macaroon with DMC, stand by, wrong side, 347, DMC 347. I am here. Super pretty. I love this combo. So this will be stitched on for 4 hours because that's my goal for the monthly magazine challenge theme. It is also on my Bringo board. So Bringo is our month-long pop-up event in the Facebook group. So for Bringo, we have 25 prompts. Each prompt, there's all kinds of different things, right? A new to you, a designer, stitch in all one color, 25 different items. We have the list posted in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. So you get the list and you can assign a project to go for each prompt. Then the night before every day, Carolyn draws a number. So you have a piece associated with the number, which is associated with the prompts. Okay, so Carolyn draws the number, and then you have to stitch either 100 stitches or 1 hour, unless the prompt calls for something different. But for the most part, it's 1 hour or 100 stitches. So I have, for my Bringo board, I chose 5 different projects, and then they are slotted for 5 different prompts. So I have what you just saw, which was Quaker Posies. Then I have the porcupine piece, which I also just showed you guys. The majestic unicorn, which you all have seen. Somehow I lost this piece. My house is not that big, but it is in this place. It is also not that messy. It's really not messy at all, but I don't know. I took it out to show for my whip parade, and I set it somewhere. I will find it before January 1st because I have a lot of things going on with that piece. But anyway, so Majestic Unicorn, Quaker Posies, Porcupine piece, From Velvet to Linen, which I just showed you guys, and then E Pluribus Unum, which I will also show you here, are all the pieces on my Bringo board. Okay, E Pluribus Unum is by Jan Hicks. Looks like this, super pretty. If you watched my whip parade, then you have recently seen this. I have not worked on it since then, but it is on 5 squares of my Bringo board. It is also the E in my acrostic of Sampler. We are here. So we should get some good progress on this over the month of January, which is exciting because I do really love this piece. So I am excited to get this piece up on a Q-snap. Okay, so those are my plans for January, at least for the magazine monthly challenge. So that is the acrostic, the theme, and Bringo, which everything in the acrostic, with the exception of Winter Blessings, is also in my acrostic. Otherwise, there's just no chance I would get either of those things completed. So we have that. The other things that I'm working on in the month of January are, I have 2 New Year New Starts. Well, one of them is my true New Year New Start. The other one I will be starting, I will be starting in the month of January. So my New Year New Start, which will also be my Cross Stitch 25/7, which I will be doing in the morning before work, is Sweet Wing Studio. This is going to be hard to say every single video in January. Sweet Wing Studio, for far better things. And the quote says, "There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind," which 100% valid for me. Love that. I'll be kitting this guy up later on tonight, so looking forward to that. And then I say 25/7, so I feel like the only way to really make progress in my 25/7 piece is if I truly get up in the morning. And normally I get up in the morning, I go to work very early, but I usually have a cup of coffee or read something like that. But if I swap out some reading for 30 minutes of stitching, I can get that done. So we're gonna try that in January, see how it goes. The other one, I forgot to talk about this one in my whip parade. I know whip parade is 4 things that are already started, but I wanted to capture the 2, which is actually 3 projects that I know I'm going to be starting in the month of January. So, or early in the year, I should say. The other one was Bird Globetrotter. I will be starting this with Carolyn from Seasick Stitch. There's a bunch of other people starting this. I need to write down who all's working on this besides us 2. So if you are working on this piece, please let me know so I can add it. I have my list of Sal's going on. So right now, I'm just writing the ones that I'm starting in 2026. So I know I have some stuff I'm working on that's part of an old Sal. Yeah. New planner, new Sals, they're going in here. So if you're working on this, let me know. Next up, so we have Magazine Monthly Challenge is done, 25/7 is Far Better Things, Whip Go. So I am doing Whip Go this year. I have chosen 5. Yes, I chose 5 things for Whip Go also. So the numbers that were called for January were number 2 and number 7. My number 2 is Spring Forest Scrapbook. I'm going to show you where I'm going to start on that. So Spring Forest Scrapbook looks like this. And I think I'm stitching these all on one piece of fabric. I think. I need to triple measure because I started this many moons ago. So I need to make sure that I did that right. Carolyn, I will be contacting you. Anyway, this is stitched on a piece of 32 count fiber on a whim linen. In the cover is Silver Fox, which I believe is called for. And I am working on this one here, the deer. I have just a teeny tiny little bit started. For here. So lots of room for improvement on this guy. So I will be working on, my goal for Whip Go is 5 hours for each piece per call. So 5 hours on this guy in the month of January. Lofty goals, lofty goals. Then the other one that they pulled was number 7. Number 7 for me is Jack Frost Tree Farm. So I just showed you guys that earlier today. If I'm not finished with the block that I'm working on right now, I will obviously finish that within my 5 hours, and I'll have to move on to the next block in the series. So that's exciting because that means I will have the banner done and the first block, which for me, even having that much done is a lot. So pause, need a drink of water, stand by. We have the Fiji water again, not sponsored. However, I did have a fun little chat with my friend Carolyn, Seasick Stitch. So she noticed that I was drinking Fiji water. Fun fact about Carolyn, yes, I'm sharing this. Her favorite water, apparently, is Fiji. My favorite water is Evian. However, they don't sell Evian at Costco like they do Fiji, and Fiji's on sale. So, therefore we got the Fiji water. I say Evian is the superior water. She says Fiji. If you have a preference or a vote, let me know which one it is. To be honest, I like all bottled water. I even drink tap water if it's filtered, but yeah. Fiji, Evian, let me know. Okay, Whip Go, Bring Go, Cross Stitch 25/7. What am I missing? I think that is it. That is it for plans. Okay, so I have this amazing thing back here to show you guys. I should have thought through how this is going to work because it's huge. Okay, so Christmas time. For Christmas, my family and I, at least the immediate family, so my daughter and my husband and my husband's kids that are all adults, we just draw names, right? So we don't buy gifts for everybody. We just draw a name and then that's one person that we buy for. So the person who drew me worked with my husband, and they found a Save the Stitches on Facebook Marketplace that is amazing. It literally blows my mind. It's ginormous. It's right here, but I need some help with it. So let's show you what it is first. Oh, okay. It's this big. And try not to get too much glare. Okay. Do you see this piece? It is amazing. This is a Teresa Wentzler piece that somebody with far more skill than me stitched. But here's where I need the help. Here's where I need the help. Can you see in the center, there is a ring of some type of, I don't know if it's dirt, I don't know, it almost reminds me of rust. I hope it's not mold. I really don't know what it is, but you get a good view of it right there. Does anybody know how to wash that or how to take it out? So this piece was professionally framed at Joann's. I know this because it says framed at Joann's. So it was professionally framed. I really hate to take it all apart unless I truly, because I'll have to pay to get it reframed or something. So maybe I can keep it on the mat. I don't know yet, but I don't want to touch it unless somebody can give true good advice on 1, can I clean it? 2, how do I clean it? Or I am perfectly okay leaving this ring. I mean, this is an older piece. It was clearly stitched by somebody who put a lot of time, effort, and love into it. It's gonna be hung up on the wall, and I don't mind if it just stays just like this. Like, if there's more harm than good that can be done, totally okay. It will live out its life. If this junk starts to grow, if it's mold or something funky, it'll live out its life for a little while and then it'll get the boot. I don't know, but yeah. So if you have any advice for me, please let me know. I will probably share this video just to get more advice on how to take care of the ring on some of the Facebook groups. We'll see. I will also take some photos because I know there's a glare and share those in the groups as well. But one more view of this beautiful piece. Yeah, it's so pretty and huge. Like, I think it's half as big as me. So, Merry Christmas to me. Whoever stitched this, you're amazing. Oh. And to the person who sold it to us, thank you. It will get lots of love in this household. So, okay, I think that's it. Merry Christmas to everybody who I didn't say Merry Christmas to. New Year's is right around the corner. I will be stitching away on New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, I will be doing more of my plannering. I've got washi tape, all the things to make it pretty, because that brings me joy. So working on that. Oh, one more thing plans-wise. Okay, so in 2026, my main groups are going to be, of course, the Magazine Monthly Challenge cross-stitch group on Facebook. The other one that I will be doing is Cross-Stitch 25/7, which is Melanie Watkins' beautiful idea, 25 minutes a day. But for my 25/7 next year, I'm gonna keep with the idea of doing either new starts or pieces that are nearest a finish. So if I don't have a new start that month, then I'm going to try to find something that I think I might be able to finish within the 25/7 or get close to. So we have that. Carolyn Ciesig Stitch convinced me to join her countdown to 50. So I am, how old am I? 41? Oh my God, how old am I? I was born in 84, so however old I am. However old I am, Carolyn already did the math for me. So if I do countdown to 50, I have to complete 6.25 pieces a year. 6-ish. That is doable. However, I am going to up my game just a little bit because I do have so much time between now and 50. And because I truly, truly struggle in FFOing pieces. You know, working on the pieces, finishing the pieces, I get there eventually. After I finish the piece, 95% of them get put into a box and those get put under the bed and they never see the light of day. So I need to finish. So they will not count towards my countdown to 50 unless I FFO the item. So, and it doesn't count on old things that I FFO. I have to finish it and FFO it. So finish and FFO 6.25 things every year between now and when I turn 50. I think I could do it. The last thing that I'm working on for the year, not just the month, but for the whole year, is I did join Whip Warriors. So within Whip Warriors, they have a year-long stitching adventure. The Ozabar, I may or may not be saying that right, Ozabar Stitching Adventure, where you can either join by yourself and have like a shop, or you can join a team. The join alone with a shop seemed daunting to me, and like I talked about in my Whip Parade, I am really working on consistency, and part of consistency for me is being held accountable, and there's no better way for me than to work as part of a team to accomplish a goal. All about that. So I joined a team, and my team lead is actually Katie, Jeremiah's mom. Hi, Katie. So we have a team of, I think it's 6 different individuals. We've got like a group chat, and we are starting our adventure in January by stitching our character. So the more I stitch, the more awesome my character will be. My only real goal in this is to be able to get an apron with pockets, because I love pockets. Beyond that, I don't care, but yeah. So you'll hear more updates about that throughout the year, and that is it. So my focuses for the whole year are going to be WhipGo, Cross Stitch 25/7, my Ozabar Stitching Adventure, and the Magazine Monthly Challenge. More than enough, but I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to a new year of stitching and connecting with all of you guys, and I think that's it. So if you have any advice for me on this beautiful Teresa Wensler piece, which the name of it I did not write down, so I will write it down so I can talk about it next time, please let me know. If you happen to have a vote on Fiji versus Avian, please let me know. And if you are stitching the Bird Globetrotter, please let me know. If you just want to say hi, please let me know. All right, that's all I got. Happy stitching, everybody. See you next time. Bye.